Hi guys, I'm going to go through the lesson 8.2 solve and share. Hopefully you did it already. So this one is called use models to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So the problem is Brandon has 6 eggs. He needs 2/3 of the eggs to make an omelet. How many eggs does he need? So just like the 8.1 problem, they want us to model with math. So the speech bubble says, would a drawing help you picture the situation? So the first thing I'm going to do is, I know that Brandon has 6 eggs. So I'm going to draw my 6 eggs. And we also know that he needs 2/3 of the eggs to make an omelet. So we're doing 2/3 of 6. When I look at the denominator 3, what I remember is that the denominator tells me how many parts make up the whole. So if there are 3 parts that make up the whole, but I have 6, I'm going to separate it into 3 total groups. So if I do this, I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, which gives me the whole. We have 2 of the 3/3, which means we have this portion. So how many eggs does Brandon actually use for this omelet if he's using 2/3 of the eggs? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's using 4 eggs. There's actually another way to do it without using the model, which we're going to get into as we move along into further lessons. But if you look at this problem, we're just going to get rid of that circled part. 2/3 of 6. I've been talking to a couple people that have been asking me some questions, and I said this of basically is a multiplication symbol. So if I replace it and do 2/3 times 6, my problem looks like this. Then I can do this without even using the model. So I know 2/3 fraction. 6 right now is a whole number. How can I turn 6 into a fraction but still keep it the same value? So I know 6 is a whole number. I want to keep it the same. I still want it to equal 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a 1 underneath that. Because if I have 6 ones, I have 6. Because it's 6 divided by 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. So with multiplication now, we're going to do something slightly different than what we did with addition and subtraction. If you remember the addition and subtraction, my big rule was you can't do anything until the denominators are the same. In multiplication, it doesn't have to be that way. So I can have a 3 and a 1 as my denominators, and I can still continue without finding equivalent fractions or common denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my numerators by each other. 2 times 6 gives me 12. 3 times 1 gives me 3. And I end up with 12/3. Now, we said the answer was 4, right? So is 12/3 the same as whole number 4? Yes, it is, because I know that 12/3 is 12 divided by 3. And I know 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I can check that by doing 4 times 3 is 12. There are 4 3's in 12. So I end up with the same answer. This way, I don't have to draw the picture. This way, I'm using the picture to help me. If you then take a look at the look back, it is a reasoning problem. It said, should your answer be less than or greater than 6? And how do you know? Well, if he's using a fraction of the eggs that he has, and he has 6 eggs, he can't use more than he started with. He only has 6 to work with. So if he's taking a fractional part of what he has, it has to be a number that's smaller than 6. If he used 3/3 of the eggs, he would obviously be using all 6. If he's using any fraction that's lower than 3/3, then it's going to give him a smaller number. That is the solve and share. I want you to take a look at the visual learning video and the question that goes along with that, the convince me, and then we're going to get into the guided practice and the independent practice. Hope you understood this. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.